symbolic and ritual forms. By African personality in symbolic and ritual forms, we are simply referring to those concepts or the African concepts of personality which refer to the living person having attained a certain traditional right or rights and positions in the society through certain ritual performances that legitimize him or her as a full-fledged member of the society, the community, or the environment the person finds him or herself. So when we say African personality, we are simply referring to those fundamental features, those things that you must do, those rituals you must undergo, those performances you must be involved in that will legitimize you or make you a full-fledged member of the society. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, it doesn't matter who is your father, it doesn't matter who is your mother, it doesn't matter the name you bear, it doesn't matter maybe the environment and all that, but what matters is what are those fundamental and basic principles, basic rituals you have undergone as a person that legitimize you as a member of the family. And we have them in African context, such as human personality. We see them as lifelong projects which start at birth and spans through your whole life within one's socio-cultural environment. One can attain a personality through ritual performances such as birth rites, naming ceremonies, which are carried out within 7 days in most African societies. This one is very crucial. When a child is born, 5 days down the line, the child, is named. After the naming ceremony, the next thing is the Imoh ritual, whereby the mother of the woman who has given birth is taken to her home or taken by any member of the family or the traditional permanent attendant to be kept for a week or 2 or 3 for her to regenerate, for her to be fully reintegrated as a woman who has given birth. It's believed that something must have left her body, so she is taken back. So these things are done in sequences. Once the naming ceremony is done, after 7 days, the next is the child dedication, which comes up in maybe in 3 months, according to the people's belief. And if a child does not undergo any of these rituals, it's assumed that that child is not a full-fledged member of the society. So naming is one of them. Then we have true bravery in hunting and wrestling context. This is another fundamental achievement of one's personality. In many African societies, if you are not a brave man, you cannot be accepted into society. So some persons will tell you, I am the son of the minister of this, I am the son of this, or something like that. But they don't see you as a brave man because you have not been able to undergo through certain rituals in the community that showcase you as a brave man. One, you must be very brave in hunting, which goes with titles. If you are a hunter, if you kill Ago, the lion, they will give you a title known as Obuago 1. If you kill cow, they will give you Obuehi. In some areas you see people bearing the name Obumbada. Mbada is antelope. And the antelope is not easy to kill. So those who kill all these things, they are given titles that depict that animal which they have killed. And then in some communities too, based on the killings you have been able to do, the moment they are looking for somebody who will go and occupy any title or any position, they will call you because they know you as a man who is very brave. So you must be very brave. On the other hand, those who fail to key into these factors, they are seen as weaker vessels in the society. Then we have the third one, through wealth acquisition. We don't mean how many cars you drive, how many flights, how many times you have entered flight to Abuja, to Lagos and all that. They are talking about those fundamental things that are very key in the society. For instance, how many wives do you have? How many children have you been able to produce? What is the number of your yam bands? How many hectares of land have you been able to acquire as a man? And all these things boil down to your personality. There are people who have 3, 4, 5 wives. They are getting married to 5 wives not because of they want to get married to 5 wives. It's because of the number of land, hectares of land they have. They want to acquire they need more wives to enable them occupy those land spaces, make them richer by increasing their farm produce and all that. Even during harvest, they will tell you, oh, this man he wants to go and harvest. If the entire village will come, the entire community they will gather, they will mount canopies, they will bring dances, traditional dances, because a certain man wants to harvest his yams. They give them title, Ezeji, the king of yams. So that you are the son of the president of this country doesn't entitle you to be given the title of Ezeji. The same thing applies to the women. A woman who has about 10 to 12 children can be named Ezewine or Riako. In some areas, once they give birth to 10 children, they will do what they call a ritual. They will kill a goat, showing that you have broken barriers, you have broken the records. You have up to 12 children, which is even a dozen, whether they are alive or not. But for the fact that you have been able to give birth to 12, 13 children, they will kill a goat and tell you, madam, stop, you have given enough. Things like this. Then we have, human fertility. It is another fundamental aspect of human personality in society. In some areas, if a woman gives birth, like I told you, 10 and above, they will now give you Oriak, prestigious titles in the church like Ezewine, Ezinne in the church, Wine Bogu, Wine Bako. Woman is wealth. Believing that the number of children you have given to the family determines how many suitors that will come. And by the time you have up to 10, 5, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20 suitors, it means the family is blessed. Then lastly, we also have the celebrations of cultural festivities. In the local government, there's a community called Ozwaha in the local government in a river state. There's one thing they do, one annual festival they do, which is called Odweshi. Now, if a male child is born, by the time that child is 12, the child embarks on a journey that takes like 2 to 3 months. By the time that child comes back, the next thing is the child is pushed to, make sure he or she undergoes this ritual. And it takes up to a month. You don't see them at home. They go to the bushes, build huts, where the children are kept for a month. Nobody sees them. Everything they eat is there. They do their rituals. They perform everything that is done in the forest. Now the children of our priests who don't get involved in these things are not even recognized until you come back and take part in these rituals I've outlined here. You are not regarded in the family. In my own place, yes, I come from Imoh in the local government area of River State. The moment a baby boy is born and the child begins to grow, between 8 and 10 years, the child enters into what we call the age grade. And this age grade, we have them in their numbers. We have the first age grade, second age, third age, up to the 12th age grade. Presently, the 13th age grade is being formed based on how these communities, do their things. Now, the age grade now ushers you into adulthood. Between 12 and 10, you are a member of the age grade. Every Sunday, you see them. They will cluster at the village square where they will sweep. They keep the village, the square clean, do their all necessary arrangements. Between 17, 18 to 20 years, the child is pushed into the family meeting where he begins to do what we call family contributions. Now, any child who doesn't undergo any of these rituals is not, regarded. This ushers you into the adulthood. And of course, like I said earlier, if your records are clean, if they discover that you have all these things intact, they may even ask you one day, Sydney, please come home. Our chieftaincy stool is vacant. We need you to go and occupy this space. In some areas, people use money to buy. Some people use money to buy, but they won't allow you to succeed because you did not undergo through those traditionally accepted rituals, which now usher you into this very aspect we're talking about. So these are some of the things people do that bring them, to adulthood. that you have billions in your bank account, your father is the president, your mother is the minister of finance and all that, doesn't qualify you. What qualifies you are those minor but fundamental rituals. They are very minor but very key. Key in the sense that you must undergo. You must take part in them one after the other. So for the sake of this study, I think we will stop here.